What's up, everybody? Welcome back. My name is Caleb, and if you are wondering about the cost of living in Ecuador, especially if you are a budget traveler or a slow traveler, or have plans to go to South America or Ecuador in 2025, you'll probably find some useful information in this video. I'm going to try to go over a couple of categories. I've done a few videos like this before, so if you're interested in some other countries in South America or Vietnam or Thailand, I also have videos on the cost of living per month for those countries. Anyway, let's get started with the first category, which is accommodation. How much does it cost to rent or live per month in Ecuador? Like I said, this is geared towards slow travelers or digital nomads like myself. I primarily use Airbnb to find our accommodation, but sometimes some other sites like local lettings or Facebook groups and things like this, you can find some deals, but honestly, you usually get pretty competitive prices, at least for starting, and then you can maybe find something cheaper when you're on the ground in Ecuador or in another country, like a for rent, like little sign or something like that in a window with a WhatsApp number. But Airbnb honestly has some decent prices. So depends on what you're gonna stay in, like the size of the accommodation, how many rooms, and where. Beachfront, more expensive. The popular areas of popular cities like Quito or Cuenca are also going to be expensive. I recommend going a little bit outside of the major areas to save a significant amount of money. Honestly, sometimes maybe like a 5-minute drive equates to like $100 or $200 cheaper accommodations, or at least options. If you are looking for a one-bedroom, kind of a studio thing to a one-bedroom, in average area of Ecuador in 2025, you're probably going to be paying maybe 250 to 450 USD. This obviously could go a little bit cheaper or a little bit higher. Once again, these are averages based off of people who are digital nomads like myself, staying maybe 1 to 3 months in a place. If you're looking for something more expensive, or if you have a little bit of a higher budget, you could probably get a 2 or 3 bedroom. We've found 3 bedrooms for as cheap as 450 in a nice area above a coffee shop, but this was off Airbnb. Though you can probably find a solid 3 bedroom for $600 or less, even on Airbnb or other places. And if you want something bigger than a 3 bedroom, you're probably going to be looking closer to $1,000, as that's probably going to be a large private house or something like that. A 2 bedroom or maybe even a 3 bedroom or a 1 bedroom could all be in apartments or like apartment buildings, which is most common. And if you want something really big, like if you have a large group of people and you're looking for a private house per month for a month or something, and then you're probably going to be paying closer to $1,000 or maybe even $1,500 if it's got like a pool or if it's in a nice area. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is food in general, like grocery shopping or going to restaurants. Ecuador is not the cheapest country in the world, but overall it is pretty affordable, especially when compared to other countries, even in Latin America. There are a few maybe cheaper countries, like maybe parts of Brazil or Colombia, but overall Ecuador is quite affordable in 2025. They also use the dollar, which makes any conversion really easy if you're from the United States. You can go and get a cheap local lunch, like what they call almuerzos, or like it's just like lunch, for maybe 3 to 450, depending on what you're getting. Maybe some places still have it for 250, but I haven't seen it in a while. And that's the cheapest I've gotten it, but maybe like 350 to $4, and you can get like a soup, and then like a rice and chicken or rice and fish and like a side of vegetables, and then maybe they'll give you like a Jamaica juice or something similar. If you want like like kind of chain normal restaurant or like a fast food restaurant, like, I don't know, KFC or something, you're probably looking at like $4 to $6 per person. If you go to like a sit-down restaurant, like I can't even think of anything. It's been, I don't know if I've ever been to a sit-down, like a chain sit-down restaurant, but even a local nice sit-down restaurant, or like here on the beach, there's these like cabana sit-down restaurants, and they've got some pretty nice seafood, but they're right in the sand and have large portions of seafood for maybe $5, $6, $7, up to $10. If you get something kind of fancy like shrimp and octopus, or I don't know. But overall, you could feed or go on a dinner for 2 people with some drinks and some food at a medium style place for under $40. I would say that definitely you could do that, and you could definitely get a little bit cheaper, or you can get more expensive. Groceries cost the 2 of us, Shaylin and I, maybe $400 to $500 a month, and that's just more for kind of the essential stuff and maybe a few extras or some not super inexpensive items, and that counts for all of our food. So maybe $400 to $500 for 2 people. If you're just a one guy or girl traveling, solo traveler, then you can probably get away with maybe $250, $300 a month in food. If you like have a place and you're established and you got like little grocery stores around, little tiendas that you can get your fruits and vegetables and whatever the hell you eat from, then you can probably make it pretty cheap. That combined, so like if you spend maybe $100 a week on groceries, and then maybe you go out to eat once or twice, and then that's like another $20 at most, if that's $10 a plate, and that will get you like something pretty nice. You could eat out twice, so you could probably eat out 4 times for $20 if you really wanted to. But overall, the food prices still pretty good. Last thing, I guess, is general fun or activities. And I mean, Ecuador has a lot of different things you can do. Obviously, you can go clubbing and party and stuff like that. That is where a lot of accidents happen. So if you are a digital nomad or a traveler, just be safe out there if you're planning to go out and have some fun at night. But drinks can be pretty cheap in the clubs. Obviously, if you go to something fancy, they're going to upsell quite a bit. But if you're just going to like get some beers at the store, you can get like the refillable 1-liter bottles for maybe like, what is it, $1.50, $2, $3 for the 1 liter. So it's not like ultra cheap, but cheap enough that you can buy alcohol fine. You can get a bottle of wine for pretty cheap. We're still close to Argentina, so you got decent wine for like $10 to $20 for a bottle. If you want to go on like a tour, like if you go through TripAdvisor or Airbnb, you're going to find a pretty good variety of stuff, ranging from between maybe like $20 a day to $100 a day, depending on what it is. Obviously, there's like rainforest, there's mountains, and there's like the beach, all the coast and stuff. Surfing lessons or trekking, maybe like you could rent a surfboard for $6 an hour, something like that, or maybe a little bit less. I haven't rented a surfboard here in years, I can't remember. But overall activities, I would give maybe a 7 out of 10. I would give the food prices here a good 7 to 8 out of 10. Not the cheapest ever. If you go to like Vietnam or something, that's going to be like really cheap food, but especially compared to other countries in Latin America, it's on the cheaper side, Ecuador. And accommodation, I would say, is 8 to 8.5 out of 10. Honestly, you can get some pretty good deals. We've found 2 bedrooms and a nice place for $250. We've found 3 bedrooms for $450. We've found a 3-bedroom in Quito for like $400 a month. So you can get some pretty good deals if you take a little bit of time looking or if you book in advance. But overall, if you're a single one-person traveler, you can probably get away with a budget as low as $1,000 per month. Living in Ecuador, maybe even a little bit cheaper. I know there's people that live cheaper than that, but, you know, accounting for variations and not necessarily being super familiar, if it's your first time in Ecuador, $1,000 a month will let you live here quite comfortably as a solo traveler. If you are a pair, then you can probably get away with $2,000 or maybe even $1,500 a month together. If you can both earn $1,500 a month, then that will get you a pretty nice living if you rent a place together in Ecuador. So, yeah, pretty good place to visit in 2025. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments. If you're interested in any other cost stuff regarding other countries, feel free to check out some of those other videos I mentioned in the beginning. But have a good day. Like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.